Hi, it's T with Teaquilts, and today is Wednesday, November 13th, 2019. It is a couple of minutes before 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you are watching this video at any other time and you are not participating in the live chat, just know that it's an upload. It's no longer live. So I will wait a couple of minutes for people to come into the chat room before we get started. Hi Vicky, I see your comment. So I'm just waiting. Hi Diane 57. Got to Riviera Henderson. She says hello TN everyone. June Billing says hi. Hi June. Got Claudette Bettis. She's here early today. Hello TN everyone. She's in Anaheim, California. We've got Deborah Richards says hello from Mississippi. Laura Plymere says hello TN everyone. June Hansen says hi TN all. Shore Abrams is here saying hi T. Let me make sure I cut this volume up. Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure you all could hear me because I feel kind of weird. It's like when you don't know what's about to happen to your body, but you know something is. So I'm just trying to rest myself out and see what's going to happen. I think it's more sinus stuff. It finally got cold here like really cold here in St. Louis area this past week. So been dealing with that as well. Let me see who I missed. I think I said June Hansen. We've got Cheryl Abraham. I don't know why I keep doing that. And Cheryl, I just sent you an email. Basically, you're off the wait list for Quilt Retreat 2020. So that's a great thing. I'm looking forward to meeting you next year. Darlene Farmer says greetings from Northern Virginia. LC says hello to you and everyone from Southern California. And I'm just backing up a little bit to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Pamela Tabor says hello ladies and tea. Hi Pamela. Leetta Bryant is here. She says hello everyone. Vicky Lemire is saying hi. She was the first one in the chat room to comment tonight. Sharice Fofi says hi everyone. It's been a while. Hello, hello, welcome back. Deborah says she loves my hoodie. Thank you so much. I was cold out there, but then when I come in here, I cut all these lights on. So we'll see how long well, I'll have to stay in the hoodie because all I have on is a plain black t-shirt. It's long sleeve, but it's real thin. Let's see. My brother is here. He says, hey sis, I'm here. Hi everybody. Hi Ray. Welcome to the chat. Linda Griffin says hi T. Hi Linda, welcome. Judy is here saying hello to everybody. Hi Judy. Vivian Calvi is here. She says hi. Hi Vivian. June Billings is speaking to my brother. Janet Mackerel says hi T. You look so pretty in baby blue. I think I look good in baby blue and also like baby pink as well. I don't know why, but I love my colors are changing. My favorite color actually is red, but then I go into purples, and then I am into teal right now. Last year it was lime green, so we'll see. It doesn't last. What my favorite color is stays at red, but my favorite color of the year, I guess, changes. How about that? And thank you so much for the compliment as well, Janet. Shakita Pearson is here. She says, hello, everyone. Hi, Shakita. And Diane was asking, am I frozen? I was only frozen when I went to cut the volume up on my iPad. It should have popped right back. And it looks like Diane might be having some issues with her service, so she's going to go out and come back in. So we'll just wait a minute for her to do that, just to go out and refresh her screen. I don't have a whole lot to talk about today. I am actually in the process of making Christmas cards, so I'm doing that. I also edited those 2 videos for the quilt show, so that took a lot of time. And what else? Oh, I made 2 quilt labels and finished the binding, the end pieces of the binding on 2 quilts that I had quilted the previous week. And what else? Oh, I don't know if you know those storage units that you have on a rod that you can buy from the store. They're kind of like shelves, and you can either put shoes in them, or they're not the pocket kind. They're actually like shelves. So I have one of those hanging in my long arm room off of 2 hangers, and my hangers broke, so all of it came crashing down. So I had to go over and fix the corner where I do my long arm quilting. And so while I was over there, I went ahead and cleaned that whole corner out. I had a blue cart over there that held my supplies for when I'm long arming, and I ended up changing that to a black origami cart. And I'll have to show you that the next time I'm in that room. But that took some time, because it took me probably a day and a half, because I really cleaned it out and touched everything. At first I was going to just put it back up there in the same condition, but then I decided to try to work on reducing the weight. I had a lot of thread inside of it, and the thread was just too heavy to be hanging on the hanger. So I just went ahead and redone that whole corner. So at least I know where everything is over there now. Nothing is lost right now. And let's see, what else did I do? And that's it for me. I'm going to show you some of the cards, and I'm going to I worked on the sew along that I mentioned in the last video. I still have the paper hanging up there. I have to reach over there over in front of the camera to get it, so I'll do that later. And let's see, make sure I didn't miss anybody else coming in. Duana Montreal is here. She says, good evening, everyone. And Virgie is saying, hello, T, and everyone. Hope you feel better, T. Yeah, I'm trying to work on it and trying to stay on top of those medications. Oh, my goodness. We got a newbie in the chat room. We've got Ann McNew. She says, hey, T, so great to see one of my favorite traveling companions. Yes. And if you all haven't and you are interested, Ann does long arm quilting, but as you all know, long arm videos can also show you the technique for doing it on your domestic machines as well. When I went to her channel, she had about 15 or 16 subscribers, so I'm trying to get some of my Teaquilters to go over and subscribe to her channel. She is a national instructor. She has traveled teaching long arm quilting, so if you really want to know some things about long arm quilting, and she's breaking it down in beginner fashion, so please go check her out. We've got Jennifer J here. She says, hi, T, and everyone. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. Bonita Nance is here. She says, hi, Miss T, and everyone. Hi, Bonita. Welcome to chat. And Diane says, love the coverage of the International Quilt Festival. Yeah, that was fun. I actually enjoyed it, and it was so hard to tape because you really can't experience that particular show through the camera because it's so much going on everywhere. So it's not as much taping as I would have liked to do, but I also wanted to enjoy my 2 days. Kim is here. She says, hi, T. Hi, Kim. Welcome. June Hansen says, I did go to her channel and love how she quilts. And Diane57 says, I subscribe. So thank you so much for going and visiting Ann's channel. So I'm going to talk about before I talk about the greeting cards I'm working on, I'm going to show you the retreat stuff. I mean the sew along. Talking about retreat. You know where my mind is. Thinking of retreat. We have no one on the waiting list currently, so that's good. All 18 people have a spot. So one person didn't get their money in, and so I just moved to the next person on the list. So I'm looking forward to retreat. I'm not going to do any more work on it until next year. I just wanted to get the down payment so we know that our dates are held. All of that information has been turned in. So last week I was telling you with my Scrap Quilting Club, due the 4th Saturday of this month, whatever date that is, which is next week, we're working on our quilters tables. It's called Spiraled. And we're working on this pattern here. We had given you the information in the last Teaquilts Live. I'm trying to find the website for you. So here's the website down here. www.aquilterstable.com. That's the website. And you can just download the PDF for that. And she's making her squares finish at 2 inches. And I used 2 pieces of fabric. I had purchased this grunge from Houston. And so I just wanted to make a Houston quilt, and then I added this royal blue on the outside. So I do have mine completed, and I will show you just a couple of things that I did different. So here's my piece, and my squares finish at 1.5 inches. So this is a tiny quilt. Even if you had done in the 2-inch finish size, the quilt was 32 inches by 34 inches finished. So I made mine just a little bit smaller, and I was really happy that I actually used something that I just recently brought into the house, so that was great. And what I did differently, and I'm trying to show you the top row. So you can see here along, like here, you see a square instead of 4 squares like she's got in the grid for piecing. I reduced some of the piecing when I could. I've got a rectangle here instead of 2 squares. And along this top, you can see where I've got a real long strip there. I'm hoping you can see that right there to over here. And I did that throughout. Whenever seams met up with another piece, then I didn't have to worry about doing all of that piecing. And when I actually quilted it or pieced it, I just pieced it in sections. You can kind of see my grid of how I gridded out, how I pieced this together. That way I wasn't dealing with a long row of half square triangles and squares that I'm trying to piece back together. And then whenever I could, if it was more than one piece sewn together or going to be the same piece of fabric sewed together in the background, and I just condensed that and cut it as one piece of fabric instead of cutting all the small squares. So it saved me some cutting, it saved me some piecing time, and it also saved me a lot of unnecessary seams that didn't need to be in the quilt top, since it is a lot of half square triangles. But I enjoyed doing it. It took me about 2 days of sewing to do the entire thing. So I started on it like last Friday night and finished it on Sunday, finished the quilt top. And I didn't worry about getting it quilted. I got to quilt a customer's quilt before I can do any quilting on my own stuff. So that's why it's not quilted. But let me go back and check the comments again. We've got Deborah Williams is here. Hi, Deborah. She says, hello, everyone. Great to hear the news. You'll be having a new subscriber and looking forward to seeing your channel. Judy Smith is here. She says, hi, T and everyone. Thanks, Benita. She says, so cute. Love it. A few of you all are saying that you subscribe to Ann's channel. Thank you so much. And it is just her name, Ann McNew. Nothing fancy about it. And Diane's eating pizza. Laura says, I subscribed as well. Jennifer J says, I love the way you explain how you work. And I do that because in a singular fashion, the way that you can make a half square triangle is so different. And if you ever run across a pattern where you don't like the way that they're making their half square triangles, which also was included in this pattern, they had it where you were cutting like larger squares and then doing this grid method. And I just used my AccuQuilt Go system. If I did not have the AccuQuilt Go or my Studio, whichever one I use, then I would have used triangulations from the CD where I would have just printed my own half square triangles on paper. So there are so many different ways to make a half square triangle. So that's one of the reasons why I try to explain some things when I do it different. That's real noticeable. So yes, so thank you, Jennifer, for that. Pamela had to leave. Tina S says, hi T, thank you for doing this. You're so welcome. I'm hoping that you all will send me some pictures if you make this quilt top. And then the last Saturday of the month, I'm hoping that I can just do a show and tell video of the upload, because I'll have the photos from my scrap club. And hopefully I'll have some photos from you all. You can either email them to me at teaquilts@teaquilts.com, or you can upload them in my Teaquilts Facebook page, and then I'll download them, include them in the video. We got Leanne Delaney says, hi T. Hi Leanne, welcome. Shrivia Henderson says, have good evening, Pamela. Peggy O'Connor is here. She says, hi T and T Quilters. Welcome, Peggy. Leanne says, I want to thank you for your video on AccuQuilt Scrappy Quilt. I couldn't have finished it without you. I don't know which one I did now because I do so many, and most of my quilts are scrappy, but you're so welcome. I appreciate you watching. Deborah says, I was wondering if anyone in here was going to the Everything Embroidery Conference in Biloxi next March. I'm going. I live only 50 miles from there. Not I. And Ann thanks you guys. She says you guys rock. Shirley Rayleigh says, hi T, love your chats. Hi Shirley, welcome to the live chat, and thank you so much. So I'm just going to talk about Christmas cards. If you all got any quilt related questions, you can drop them in the description box. And Leanne said you use the AccuQuilt Studio, but the way you showed how to mix up the scraps was a lifesaver. Yes, because I double cut. I cut strips and squares at the same time when I'm cutting scraps. So you're so welcome. I do know which video you're talking about. So I'm going to show you some of my cards. They're not the prettiest greeting cards, but I have not sent Christmas cards out in 2 years, and I decided that this year I was not going to miss it. So I don't even know how many I need. Right now I'm at number 15, and I have the fronts for 2 more pieces. So I got these, 2 of these where I've got stockings like this, and I don't know what to do with this. I don't even know why I did it, but I did. So I got to figure out something to do with those 2 that I die cut with the wreath builder that I made. I talked about that a couple weeks ago, maybe in a live chat. So I used some of those pieces that I had showed you all a couple weeks ago. Let me get those cards out first, where I was making like background pieces. And so I remember I used the wreath builder, and I was making like these various different backgrounds. And I know you all probably were thinking, what is she gonna do with that? That doesn't look like Christmas. But I wanted more of a winter look on this card. So I just put I die cut this tree, and then I stacked some layers behind it, maybe just one on this one. Sometimes I stacked 1 layer of paper. Other times I stacked a layer of adhesible, what is it? The little sheets you get from the store. I'm blocking the name of it. Ain't that crazy? It was not felt, but they're like those styrofoam kind of sheets you get that you can craft on. But yeah. It's like self-adhesive I'm blocking what it is. But it's like what you give to kids when they're doing arts and crafts and they're doing those soft arts and crafts, but it's not felt. But I can't remember what it's called right now. But yeah, so I use those. So these are, one of them I put a stocking on. This one here has that fusible item on it, but you can't really see it because it's on the side. But you can see it's a little thicker, but it's like foam. Right there. So that's, I had 4 of those. And then I made some gold and silver. These are kind of the same, so I'll just show you one in gold and silver. These were the ones where I had done the tree in the reefs that went around, and so then I just backed it on gold and put this is another piece of that foam stuff because it's coming up through some of the holes. But yeah, that's one on gold, and here is one that's on silver. So there's both of them. Close your eyes, dear brother. You're the only one in the family that's in here. My niece pops in here every once in a while, but she hasn't been in here in a while. And these are not necessarily my favorites. I was running. I got tired of doing those and got tired of thinking up ideas, so I just started cutting some paper. So these are not pretty, but they're done. I did 2 silver ones like this. These were some self-adhesive stickers that I had in the jars, and they actually move. You can see the pieces kind of jiggle around in there. But just cutting up some paper that I already had just to get rid of it. Don't these cards look like they 2 different sizes, but they're the same size? That's weird. And then also one on here where I had cut this out of the sympathy card that I had made. I'll talk about sympathy cards in just a minute. And then the last 2 cards that I made were with some more just Christmas paper, same theme. Did I have those upside down? I can't tell. Okay. I thought I had them upside down, but they were right. But yeah, so just wanted to show you what I was doing. I used this stamp here for that stamp set, and I don't forgot the name of it. If you're interested in the name of this, just let me know. I used the Happy Holidays and Merry Christmas, and then I also used this stocking out of here. I can't remember who that is. It probably goes in the back of here. It's called the Gift of Love. Gifts of Love quilt stamp. I don't know who it's by. Don't have it written here, and all the original paperwork is gone. And then I also used, for the sentiment inside of all the cards, this is what I used. And that's a Stampin' Up stamp. And then I'm just going to show you the back. I always stamp my handmade stamp design on the back. That sentiment on the inside is embellished ornaments from Stampin' Up. And I'm not sure if this is still available or not because I bought this probably 2 years ago. And then I don't even know why this one's here other than I had this one out because I used this sorry here in my greeting card that I made. So thinking of greeting cards, I am going to go back in the chat. And I just want to give condolences to Sharon Martin. She lost her father the past week. And also to Mrs. Winfred Baptiste. She lost her husband. And she's, Winfred had been in here a couple times saying that he was sick. And we were giving her prayers and stuff. So just continue sending prayers for them that they make it through because it's going to be a difficult time. I know it's not right before Christmas, but it's close enough to the holidays that it's going to make it a little bit tougher for them to get through this period. And it's, you know, grieving is a long process as I'm learning myself because, you know, I can be happy 1 minute and then be crying for my brother that passed. And then once I start crying for him, I start crying for other family members that have passed. So grieving is a process. So just keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and hopefully they get through this season with as little sadness as possible, which is going to be difficult, but I just want you all to know we are such a good supportive group, and I just wanted to announce that. And I felt that I can announce it because they put it in a comment out on the YouTube video, my latest YouTube video that I uploaded. So just send them prayers. I've also responded to them as well, but you know, it's just a little difficult time right now. So let me go back, make sure I haven't missed any comments. Diane says, look like a Christmas tree to me. Yeah, but when I had the fabric up, the fabric didn't, I mean, when I had the paper, when I was showing you all what I was doing, making the backgrounds, the actual backgrounds themselves didn't look like Christmas. That's what I meant. Yeah, and Deborah Richards says she thinks it's sheets of foam, and I think that's what it is because it's not felt, and it's a adhesive foam. Laura had to go. She said it's 3 a.m. come very early. Yes, it does. I must have missed something. Vicky saying that she was in a bummer mood. I hope you feel better. I see people are responding to you, so hopefully that helps you as well. Jennifer says, tea is sharing. Doesn't that make you smile? You all are so supportive. June says, I like your cards. Pretty cards. Kim says, pretty Christmas cards. Thank you all so much. We got Loretta. She says, hi, T and all. Hi, Loretta. Welcome to chat. And we got Michelle Thompson says, hello, Miss T and everyone. Hi, Michelle. Melinda C says, hello, T and everyone. Thumbs up. She's reminding everybody to hit that thumbs up button. Thank you so much. If you all got any quilt related questions, please post them below. This time I have been working on things that I'm like the quilts that I'm doing the binding on. I'm not ready to share those until they're completed and I can go out and take some photos of those. They'll be in a video. So that's why I haven't been showing that kind of stuff. So anything that I know I'm going to do a video on, I tend not to show you all. So, yeah. And I've been so busy that I haven't had time to like make anything for here. I'm trying to get caught up on some of the videos that I'm doing. Or that I got to get out. At least I got the Houston ones out. I just skipped over those. I've got a couple of local quilt shows that I went to that are really nice that I want to share with you all as well. So hopefully I'll get those. Next, I also have a video probably coming out tomorrow. It was supposed to come out today, but has some technical issues with Arteza. I used some of their glitter HTV. Works really nice. So, yes. And Diane says, love using stamps. And that's why I share, because I know I've received cards from some of you guys, and you all have made some really pretty cards. And I was trying just to do something basic, trying not to use a whole lot of materials because I didn't want to go into twine and washi tape, all of the stuff that just, you know, my desk, my work area, I'm using my dining room table and it is a hot mess. So I didn't want to pull out anything that unnecessary. I pulled out a few stamp sets, my die cutting machine, and that's about it. So yes. And I didn't even bring the things that I die cut, like the tree. I forget which one it belonged to. Probably AliExpress. That's probably why I didn't bring it. And Leanne says, grief is the price we pay for love. That is so true. Loretta says, thank you, Melinda, for the reminder to thumbs up. That's what she's talking about. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do so. June says, can you send your love on a postcard to make her smile? She's giving Vicky a suggestion that instead of sending a block, she can send a postcard. Peggy says prayers, and she says so hard. Yes, indeed. June says, I made a quilt out of my brother's jeans, and the whole time I cried. But it's been 3 years, and my mom, and it's been 2 years, and I cry still over them. Exactly. And I did the same thing, kind of. I made something. My sister had a pair of white jeans, and the white jeans that I had, I didn't want to cut up. So I cut up the jeans that she had and made a sewing machine cover. And it was great going back down memory lane. But it took me about 2 to 3 years before I could even make those pair of pants when my sister passed. So, yes, it's sewing is therapeutic as well during that process. So, Teresa McCormick says, hello from Wisconsin. Welcome, Teresa. June says, 17 years for my mom, and I still cry for them. And Leanne says, T is holding back on us. Yes, I haven't showed you the finished sew-along quilt for Christmas. That's done. I've either we have rain here or it's been 18, 12 degrees or something outside, and I'm not going out there to be playing around with the quilt. I tried videotaping that Christmas quilt. I should do a I don't know what you call, not a prank video, but you know, like when things don't go right. I should do one of those videos, because every time I tried to stand that quilt up on the frame, it was so windy that it just kept falling over, and I got frustrated and just stopped. So yeah, but I am holding back just a little bit. Yeah, bloopers. Thank you, Benita. Holding back just a little. I got 3 quilts that I want to show you, and then I also have not washed yet. I got that quilt that I used, the 2 battings, the Warm and Natural, 100% cotton. And then I also used the wool batting from Hobbs. So I need to wash that quilt and show you the before and after. And that's another thing. I wanted to show you the before outside on my deck before I washed it, so that I could open it up so you could see it. I was going to remeasure it because my measurements could have changed since it's been quilted. And then I wanted to measure afterwards, and then we were going to check to see if the sizing changed and or if it puckered. So that's another video, but you know, it's just bad time of the year. Elaine Doucette says, hi T. Hi Elaine. She says, I am buying a hand quilted quilt from a little old lady, 95, who's still hand quilting, just to support our huge community of quilt lovers. Yes, and that's, you know, we've got a few areas in the St. Louis area that hand quilt. And I remember like maybe 5 years ago, it was hard to get somebody to hand quilt for you. It took you like over a year to get on their wait list. And I noticed that we've got some of our regular quilt guilds have started doing hand quilting. And when they first started, they were doing it for free. I don't know if they still do it for free, but it was pretty interesting that we've got a lot more people doing hand quilting in this area. I don't know about all areas, but in this area. And Diane's got another true fact, says it takes time to grieve. Jennifer is asking June, telling June that your finished quilt will bring you comfort, made with tears, love, and prayers. Wrap yourself in it. And June says that she gave it to his grandson, and then we all cried some more. Audrey Rathburn says, T, your yellow and blue quilt hanging up is pretty. Thank you so much. That's just a normal quilt that I have hanging in here. It's made from the yellow brick road pattern Made from, it's very fat quarter friendly, and it's real easy and works up very nicely. Michelle Thompson says we have a lady in our guild that hand quilts. So I have no interest in hand quilting. I hate it. So yeah. So I don't have a whole lot. I kind of told you all what I've been working on. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Don't forget to go download the pattern so you can do the sew along. It's called Spirals at www.quilterstable.com. Trying to think, what else did I have to tell you all? Then I'll get off and go, I forgot to tell them this. I forgot to tell them that. Oh, goodness. Peggy says, you will always cry about your loved one, but you go forward because you know your loved one would want that. That is so true. Leanne says she hand quilts a lot, but can't imagine doing it for free. The fastest I did, it was 30 days for a twin size. And I think they were only doing it for free when they first started because they didn't know. One of the things with hand quilted quilts by groups is that you're gonna get different sizes in the quilting, and I think this is one of those really good guilds that's got proficient people in it. Even people who have won national awards, and so I think they probably wanted to make sure that they could get stitching to be compatible when they first started. I have a feeling that it is no longer free quilting over there. I just remember them asking me if I had a quilt I wanted hand quilted, and I declined, only because I think I just threw away a flower. I saw a piece of green scrap on the desk and tossed it into my scrap bag. Now I want it back. Came off my card. My glue must not have held. Came off this petal right here. So I have to fish that out. But yeah. So I've hand quilted. The only time I will hand quilt now is if it's a small wall hanging type thing, like miniature quilts. I will sometimes hand do those, especially if they're applique. But I don't have the patience nor the time to hand quilt a bed size quilt anymore. I have done 1.5. I'd say a half because I had one, the second one that I did, the big bed quilt. I had it as a UFO for like 15 years. And I decided, okay, we're going to just throw this on a long arm when I got the long arm machine, and I finished it off. So that's why it's 1.5. But small things I've done maybe about 3 or 4. Diane says, I thought a guild would be like the old days where you sit around a quilt and quilt it. Nobody wants to hand quilt. Even in my small group where we meet in each other's homes, I thought that I could get them to help me quilt a quilt that I was hand quilting. So I did 2 full bed quilts. Let me correct that because I forgot about this one I'm talking about. And we were doing the big stitch. That's when the big stitch quilting came out and was popular. They didn't have any interest in that. They didn't even want to touch that quilt if they had to put some stitches in it. So, it just depends on the people and whether you're interested. I am buffering a little bit, but I'm still coming back, just so you all know. But it's all personal preference on who loves to do hand quilting. And Kim says a lady in her guild hand sews her quilts too. I think she sends hers out for machine quilting. And some people can hand piece quilt pieces quicker than you could sew them on a machine, and that came out, and Jenny Byer is one of them. She's one of the quilters that actually hand pieces her quilts, and she's fast. We had her come to our guild, or she was in the St. Louis area at some point. I can't remember now. It's been a while, but yeah, she's fast and good. Elaine's reminding people to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you so much, Elaine. And Diane saying that she would have helped. Yeah, but these girls over here, nobody over here, and even in my immediate close circle likes to hand quilt. Got maybe one, maybe Jennifer. We got a girl named Jennifer. She likes to do hand applique sometimes, and she likes to hand quilt, but I haven't seen her do a lot of it lately. So can you all tell me what you all are working on? Since we still got 20 minutes, or we're gonna end early. Ah. Kim Yelena says, people have asked me too if we at the Guild sit around and hand quilt. No, at the Guild, you're basically just going for a business meeting and to see some show and tell, because it's so much that goes on at the meetings. Ann McNew, what is your site for the pattern for the quilt pattern? I don't know what quilt pattern you were talking about, Virgie, but Ann is showing you some long-arm machine quilting. It's Ann McNew. It's her name. I don't know anything about her having some patterns at this point. And she didn't have a YouTube channel when she was teaching, just because she wanted to keep all of her ideas fresh. She was coordinator of our long arm quilting guild for a number of years, and so she was making sure that her information wasn't out on YouTube. So that's why she doesn't have a lot of subscribers now. She just is starting to put some stuff on there. Bonita says, I waited patiently for machine quilting to come out. No hand quilting for me. Yeah, because I was machine quilting when it wasn't the popular thing to do, when hand quilted quilts were the ones that won all the shows. And now it's sort of kind of the opposite. Unless it's a super fantastic quilt, do you see a hand quilted quilt winning? It had to have some other features in it as well that made it win. Trivia wants to know, has anyone made a Pac-Man quilt? I have not. You all can answer her question. Susan Miller says, how much time do you spend piecing or quilting every day? And that's one of those very subjective questions. Since I retired, I feel like I do more work from because I'm my own business now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I get to come into this room and do some piecing. And so I enjoyed when I can get in here, and that's why I got this quilt top piece for the sew along so fast, because I was so happy to have something to piece, because I haven't been in this room in a while. You know, with the different aspects of running a business, some days I can spend 4 hours just doing social media stuff. Other times I am like just reading emails, responding to emails, and you all have noticed that I don't really respond to YouTube comments in a timely fashion anymore. It's mostly I go in there once a week. Sometimes if I'm super busy, it might be 10 days. And that's because it will not let me respond on my mobile devices. I type the responses on my mobile device, and then I go to my desktop and the comments are not showing that I made them. So I don't even try it anymore right now, because that's a lot of time that was wasted when I'm replying to comments and they're not happening. So now I do them in bulk. And then recording videos, I edit videos. I'm frozen. It doesn't look like it want to come back. You can still hear me? Wow. Oh my goodness. That is so crazy. Now, I know that some of you all had told me that this happened to you all where you could either hear or see, but I've never had it do this to me where I'm frozen and you all can still hear me. That is so very strange. Um, Let me just go ahead and read these comments, and then we're just going to go ahead and call it an end of the night, just because I'm on the screen with my mouth wide open, just like my friend Diane said. I know we just had a few people come into the chat, so I just want to recognize those people. And I know I just had asked you all a question of what were you all working on. And then in response to finishing off Susan's question about how much time I quilt, I basically am working from sun up to sundown. And then, you know, there are times when I have to make myself take a break. And that's because I'm running a business as well. So I may not be doing any sewing or actual quilting, but I am doing some form of work that's quilt related almost all day throughout the day. And tomorrow I'm actually going to take off and go visit a friend tomorrow. So Claudette's working on a baby quilt. Audrey says, I have hand quilted in the past. I'm crocheting slippers. That sounds like fun. I haven't crocheted in a while. Diane's making fleece blankets for grandkids. And Shakita says, I'm hand quilter my very first quilt for the experience. I love my long arm quilter. Yes, indeed. Tiffany is here. She says, I'm so late, huh? Hi, T. Hello to everyone. Leanne says, I am hand quilting a queen size quilt. I machine piece the front and also put machine applique on the back. Now that sounds really pretty. And Virgie says, the scrap group quilt you just finished, T. Oh, so Virgie's done the quilt. That's pretty cool. Send me a photo. Teaquilts at teaquilts.com or upload it to Teaquilts, and then I'll pull it off of my Facebook site. Kim says, today I worked on row by row quilt of Valor. This week was the Whirly Gig block. Now that sounds interesting too. Michelle says she just finished a baby elephant quilt for a friend that's expecting next month. I just bought a pattern for a baby elephant quilt. What else? Let me go. Keep going. Francesca is here. She says, sorry I was late. You're getting a lot of mileage out of that spiral pattern. May get to it in the spring. June Hansen says, I'm working on a queen size quilt for a nephew. It was a fishing theme on it. Just need to go back to do the back or something so he can go to the quilter. Teresa McCormick says, I have a few memorial t-shirt quilts to do, so I wanted to tidy up before starting. Yeah, I actually love doing the t-shirt quilts. A lot of people don't like doing them. I accidentally just deleted Tiffany's message. I didn't mean to, and I don't see how it's letting me undelete it. Sorry about that, Tiffany. I'll read it in just a second. Deborah Richards says, I don't think I could hand quilt now. I did for quilt 20 years ago, but now I have too much arthritis in hands and fingers, so no, you don't want to be machine quilting. And how come I keep looking up at the camera like you all can see me? Diane says, I hand quilted several baby quilts. Tiffany says that I accidentally deleted and I can't get back. I've held it down and it won't. Okay, hold on. See, unhide user. Okay, she says, hi, I'm in a bunch of pain, been lazy, but I was feeding the baby and didn't know T was on because my phone was in a different room. I hope you feel better. It's horrible when you're walking around in pain. Jennifer says, I'm working on my great-granddaughter's quilt. I will tie it off with embroidery thread like folks did in the 1700s, laughing out loud. That's funny. I'm still looking up at this screen, okay? It's pretty cool. My guild, we tie a lot of quilts for charity. Bonita says, I'm drawing 1/4 inch lines on fabric for block. I'm sending my best friend a block a month so she can make herself a quilt. I sent her a Borgello quilt and she decided to save it for when she passes on. Oh my God, so she's not going to do that. And we've got Remo JS here. Says, good evening from Bowie, Maryland. Welcome. And a lot of people are talking to Tiff, so that's really nice. And she says she's responding to somebody must be asking her about that huge dress. And she says, I haven't touched it in a couple of days. Haven't sewed, only loaded the long form yesterday. That's it. And Tiffany, I may have to go to my desktop to get you unblocked. I don't know why. I don't know how I did that. I guess I held a space too long when I was scrolling. So sorry about that. Shut up, Diane. She is too funny. She's still laughing. So Judy Smith says, finally got my she shed and my nephew is helping me to finish the inside. It is wired. We just need to get the power hooked up too. Eventually it will have a bathroom in it. Oh my God, now that's a pretty cool she shed. So I am just going to quit reading here. I'm so sorry, Tiffany, that I accidentally blocked your information, and I'm sure I'm going to have to go back and make sure I undo that at my desktop. So it took every message that she's typed when I took care of the one. Tiffany, see if you, okay, now it's good. Thank you, Tiffany. Okay, because I'm like, otherwise what I've done on my phone wouldn't work. And, you know, I definitely didn't want to put you in timeout. That's not what I'm here for. So I'm going to go ahead and end here. I appreciate you all typing in the comment panel. I see June says she has a nursery panel to quilt for a baby coming Friday, but can't get motivated. You got to get busy, girl. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this just because it's weird, because I feel like when I see myself, I see you, even though it's not true. But I will see you all next week, unless something else happens, and maybe I'll come on Saturday night and do some live quilting if I can figure out something I need to work on, like that bag for sopowerful.org. I need to make that bag, but I have some other things I have to get done, like I need to quilt this lady's quilt that I need to deliver to her next week, so I need to get that quilted this week. So that's why I haven't done that pattern yet. But good night to everybody, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye. Stay blessed.